AC said you had some dough for me. That a fact? How much do I owe you? AC said 10%. Too bad AC ain't in charge no more. Welcome to the Pixel Pop Movie Podcast. I'm your host for this episode. With me, I'm joined by the put on too much aftershave and ran up and down the corridor screaming Lucas.
I don't shave.
And the often left at home at Christmas all by himself because his family forgets him, Jesse.
Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Obviously, by the opening quote and those comments, you can gather that our topic of conversation for this episode is Christmas in nature, and it's actually we had a little homework. It's we've come up each with our own idea for a Christmas movie that doesn't exist yet, whether it's a sequel or if it's a brand new thing. We've all come up with a thing, so we're going to chat about them a little bit later on and have a bit of fun with that. But before we get into that, it's been 3 weeks. We've got quite a bit of news to get through. Obviously, I'm not as organised as Ethan, so you're going to have to bear with me. I'm just going to sort of plug through these as best I can, and hopefully Lucas and Jesse will keep me in check. But let's get cracking into that. All right, so first off, we've got news, and I'm not sure how much Lucas will really care, although I probably shouldn't say that. I think Jesse might. Godfather 3 is being re-released as The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yes, so the original Godfather 3 got a little bit of a backlash in the way it was sort of, especially how it was ended. And so this is essentially a re-edit with a new, as far as I understand it, a new kind of intro and then a new kind of outro and then some editing in the middle.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, the news about this was very confusing because a lot of places had it billed as like it was just a re-release. And then there was other places that had headlines saying like, oh, a new Godfather movie is coming out, and people were really confused.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard it was a whole new Godfather movie.
No, it's not. It's like a director's edit of the third Godfather movie.
Ridley Scott got his hands on the Godfather. I know what I could do.
The first two are obviously the best, but and of course there was always rumors of a fourth one that was going to be set in the 80s and sort of showed how the family had devolved into drugs and stuff. But anyway, so this will be coming out to cinemas, I imagine, streaming services, that sort of stuff, and then eventually...
So are we at the point now where we're doing hashtag release the Coppola cut?
Well, speaking of director's cuts, we got a official teaser update for Justice League, the director's cut, which showed a few juicy, tantalizing bits and pieces.
Oh boy, did it get me moist.
Yeah, I'm keen.
In addition to that as well, Zack Snyder also posted on that social media platform that only he uses. I can't think what it's called.
MySpace.
He's been trying to get on him.
MySpace. MySpace.
He went back to MySpace.
MySpace. No, I can't remember what it's called, but he posted a photo not long ago, which basically had him doing. I think the first cut of it is done. Like editing,
right?
But all he put up was just like a blank screen, and it just said, "Here we go." Yeah, cool. So I feel like the editing for the most part is pretty much done, and it's now kind of getting down to the brass tacks in terms of into the final product. So
yeah, keen.
But holy crap, this trailer looked excellent.
Yeah. Well, continuing with some DC, we also got Wonder Woman 1984 is going to debut to both HBO Max and theaters at the same time.
Yeah. This kind of came out of nowhere.
So I think we're still on for a Boxing Day release here in Australia, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
I don't think that's changed. Yeah. But it's going
to
be interesting because obviously, I mean, the world is still plagued by, piracy, and with such a high quality version hitting streaming services the same day as it's in theaters, and of course with so many people stuck at home still. I mean, we're really lucky here in Australia now, but a lot of the world is still locked at home. Unfortunately, I can see this getting pirated to heck and back.
Absolutely. I can totally see it too.
Yeah, I guess it's just a case of Warner Brothers needs to make some cash. Like, they've got to get a return on these films. And it's not just Warner Brothers, like Disney and all. Disney's, I think, got enough bank they could probably hold out with their Marvel stuff and have been, but everyone else is going to be starting to feel the pinch and just needs to make some money, I think.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be interesting you say that with Disney, because Disney posted with their financial situation compared to Warner Brothers, they've been able to secure at Disney, I think they got 45% back of their previous net value on the stock market. But currently, punters are actually posting Disney as a do not buy compared to like they've never had that before.
Wow.
And so it's the first time in Disney's history where, people in the stock market are saying Disney is bad stock. And for the next, I think they said potentially 2 years until Disney Plus recoups its value. So like, I wonder if Warner Brothers is making this move to try and be the first out of the gate to change the landscape of entertainment. Yeah.
We had an official trailer for Skyline 3. I believe that trailer on YouTube has had 127 views, and 125 of them are Ethan. The other two people, I'm disgusted in you.
We talked about this last week, remember? Ethan just put it back because he thought he was going to be on again and he wanted to talk about it.
Well, there you go.
About this last one.
He's scum. We had a trailer for Chaos Walking. Tom Holland et al.
Finally!
Yeah.
Finally! This movie's only been in production for 4 years.
Well, there's coronavirus.
This is the season for production hell films to come out.
No, it wasn't coronavirus. So this is you know the term production hell? This is the case of production hell.
This and poor New Mutants.
I wouldn't put New Mutants in the same boat because unlike New Mutants, this was like 3/4 of the way through filming and they scrapped everything and started again.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so like this has just had like hit after hit after hit with it, to the point where no one thought this movie was. This was going to be predicted to be the biggest film to never make it to screen.
Right.
Because they've spent some crazy number on it, like $180 million or something on it, and it got to the point where the original cut of it was unwatchable, so they had to basically scrap the whole film and redo the whole film.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, it's bad. But in saying that, though, like this first trailer looked pretty cool.
We got some, the cogs are turning over at Marvel Studios, and we've got some news on Deadpool 3. So obviously it is going ahead, and word is that the Molyneux sisters, best known for writing a bunch of Bob's Burgers episodes, will be working on the script.
Yeah. This is going to be cool. Like, Bob's Burgers, if you haven't seen it, is probably one of the best animation TV shows on right now. Very funny. Very, very funny.
Can't say I've caught it, but I mean, I don't have a lot of TV time, but I'll trust you in this one. You and Ethan both said it's very good, so.
Have they said why Reese and Wernick aren't coming back, or are they just work? Because I know that after they did Deadpool 1, it was just project after project after project.
You know how it is. Most movie studios, when they do an official statement, aren't going to go, we didn't like these people, so we're not working with them or anything like that. Probably going to get a follow-up statement later from the original process. They probably just took on another project and got busy. Predator is returning with 10 Cloverfield Lane director Dan Trachtenberg coming on board.
Yes, very good.
So I didn't catch the last Predators. I know it got panned hard, so I haven't even bothered with it. But from what I read briefly, this is going to be a fresh start, I believe.
I'm not sure about the fresh start, but all you have to do is tell me that Dan Trachtenberg is working on it, and I'm, very excited.
Same. Yeah,
well,
he is a very underrated guy.
I think he probably did one of the best episodes of Black Mirror, and that's a high bar. But his
absolutely. And 10 Cloverfield Lane is like one of the most incredible thrillers of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
The script is actually being written by Patrick Asen, whose credits include Kingdom, Jack Ryan, and Treadstone. Didn't mind Jack Ryan. I thought that was quite good on Amazon. Treadstone I did watch it was okay. So he's familiar with sort of spies and combat and stuff, so I imagine the comedy, right? But apparently this is from the Deadline article, which was an exclusive. It says they're keeping the plot line under wraps for the moment, but I'm told it won't swing back to the developments in the most recent film. So they're going to ignore that Predators film that tanked. Understandable.
It's a hard retcon.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, moving on. Apparently, Marvel's Black Panther sequel is to begin shooting in July.
This is going to be interesting. I wonder what they're going to do.
Well, I think we've all pretty much agreed it's going to be Shuri.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't really said anything. The only thing that they've said about Black Panther 2 is that one of the guys from Narcos Mexico is going to be the villain.
Right.
That's the only piece. Apart from that, the only piece of news that we've got is that shooting in July, this guy's been cast. That's all we know. So Yeah,
I mean, they shot themselves in the foot a little bit getting rid of Claw. So
You guys know the
I
comics
still wish they could have utilized
a
him.
bit better than me. Has there? I mean, like you look at Spider-Man, right? There's like several different Spider-Mans. Was there ever a different Black Panther?
I don't know myself.
I'll be honest. Black Panther's not really my bread and butter.
The only reason I ask is because if you didn't want to do the Shuri line, with everything that's about to happen in terms of multiverses collapsing, you may be able to bring in a different Black Panther if you didn't want to go down that particular Shuri avenue.
That's true. And
Just
I mean,
I think you'd probably disappoint fans if you did that, to be perfectly honest.
That's true, but at the same time, that with the unfortunate passing of Chadwick, I feel like some fans are it's kind of impossible for Marvel to not disappoint people now because he was so perfect as Black Panther. So it's going to be hard to fill that spot with anybody that isn't him, unfortunately. It's such a shame because Black Panther was such a huge hit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's kind of no getting around it. They're going to have to essentially bite the bullet.
Yeah.
And kind of be like, listen, this is the situation. We obviously all know that, Chadwick was perfect for the role, and just kind of like I said, bite the bullet and just be, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to move forward. Like it's not gonna please everyone, but it's gonna be the only way they move forward with it.
Yeah.
Oh well. Apparently ordered straight to series, The Last of Us adaptation coming to HBO.
Yeah.
This wasn't a surprise.
No.
This wasn't a surprise.
No.
Based off the success of the second game, as well as this is already possibly one of the most hyped projects going. Yeah, it was a matter of time before this was ordered the series.
It's also gone cross media recently too, because they also commissioned they'd already gone into comic books, but they've also commissioned a board game of Last of Us now, so that's coming out with Simon next year. So I feel like someone somewhere at Naughty Dog struck quite a few decent little deals, because it seems to be sort of exploding out since Last of Us 2, which is kind of ironic because Last of Us 2 had such a mixed reaction compared to just the overwhelming positivity of the first game. So it's really interesting that this is the time that Last of Us is blowing up in multimedia compared to before.
Because I know that Neil Druckmann, who's the guy who wrote and created the video game, he's going to be on board as a lead, either a lead writer or he's head of the creative for the project. I hope he's able to bring those elements that made that first game so great into the series.
I don't want to say good news because, the circumstances that surrounded it weren't necessarily good to begin with. But with Johnny Depp leaving Fantastic Beasts 3, it's now confirmed that Mads Mikkelsen will be replacing him in that role.
Thank God.
This was a big rumor straight away. The moment they said Johnny Depp is going, straight away it was Mads Mikkelsen. Everyone was saying get. So it's kind of cool, even though they're letting Johnny go, despite the fact that I believe he shouldn't be going. The fact that they've kind of listened to the fans and been like, all right, well, who do you guys want? We'll get him. And Mads Mikkelsen sounded like he was super open to it as well. So, yeah. I reckon Mads Mikkelsen's probably one of the best actors going right now.
Totally.
Joss Whedon's having a bit of a break. He's stepping down from The Nevers on HBO and going on a bit of a vacation, it seems. Whether it's stress or whatever have you, but they're parting ways.
Yeah. I think a lot of it has come down to the fact that the production of The Nevers was kind of halted because of COVID, and then obviously all these allegations against him from Ray Fisher coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel this is kind of all just building. I know that I think it was last year there was a lot of this year. It was at the start of this year there was a lot of, he came out and admitted he cheated on his wife when he was working on Buffy, and then a lot of sexual assault allegations came out against him. And I think it's just been a pretty crazy year for him. So
yeah, he got a lot of flack recently on Buffy. I remember about how he was a bully and all this sort of stuff, which is not tied in well for him with what's going on with.
There was that. Apparently, he was also sleeping with. He's like a sex addict or something, and he was sleeping with people that he was casting in the show.
Oh, jeez.
They didn't say who.
Well, I mean,
there were allusions to who they were talking about.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, the way that this has happened with Joss Whedon? Because Buffy is my favorite series of all time. I know it isn't the best series ever made, but it's my personal favorite because I just grew up with it. So I love Firefly and Dollhouse as well. So Joss Whedon's very close to my heart with stuff I've grown up with. But I've always thought from a lot of behind the scenes stuff with Joss Whedon that there was something odd.
You think he's a bastard?
Yeah, with a lot of stuff that I do. Like a lot of stuff I've seen of him, I was like,
to
he
be
seems
fair,
like a bit of
to be fair, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to go into this too much. I'm not going to excuse anything that's like assault or sexual. There's never an excuse for that. But I think too, most creative people, and you look at their genuinely genius creative people in the industry over the years, have all been bastards. You know, Fincher, Lynch, Scott. They're all Cameron. Like they're all in one way or another brilliant directors, but they all have a reputation for being complete bastards. And I guess that's to some, again, not that, I mean, I don't think Scott, for instance, has ever been accused of anything sexual for it. So, I mean, keep your dick in your pants, guys. But I think most of the creative geniuses, quite many of them anyway, do come with a reputation for being bastards. And if Whedon's only crime was, or is, he's a bastard, I don't have a huge problem with that. If he's actually abusing people, being racist, sexist, that's just, I have a problem with that. But if he's just hard to work with because he demands perfection, well, then you should know that before you get on the set.
That's right, and that's the important thing I think everyone needs to remember in the world we live in now, especially with like the hashtag cancel culture sort of stuff going on, is that you need to be careful of, exactly, like Joss Whedon could be the biggest dick in the world, but we have to make sure that what he's said he's allegedly has done, he's actually being, if he's going to be lambasted for that, then we need to make sure it's genuine, because it's a very tricky situation. And lots of people have been saying, oh, he's taking a break because his career's dead, rest in peace Joss Whedon, blah blah blah. It's like, I feel like that's a really nasty attitude to have, because the dude could be the worst person in the world, but what if he isn't? An awful lot of people are sitting there saying all these horrible things about him, and the guy might have been a dick, but what if that's all he was? Like, we don't know.
Exactly. I got some good news for you, Lucas. You're not going to have to worry about the price of a movie ticket or popcorn for Godzilla vs. Kong, but unfortunately you might not catch it on the big screen, because word is it's coming directly to streaming services.
So, can we get into this at the HBO thing? Because some interesting information came out this morning.
Let's talk about this. So, what's going on here is, as I understand it, and please feel free to correct me, Warner Brothers has announced that it's basically dumping massive amounts of its theatrically released movies straight to HBO Max. This includes Godzilla vs. Kong, Suicide Squad, Conjuring, Matrix 4, Dune, Mortal Kombat, Wonder Woman, etc., etc., etc.
Right. So basically the full list is like you said, Godzilla, Kong, Suicide Squad, Conjuring 3, Wonder Woman 84, Dune, Matrix 4, The Little Things, The Many Saints of Newark, which is the Sopranos prequel film, Mortal Kombat, Space Jam 2, Judas and the Black Messiah, the remake of Tom and Jerry, Malignant, Those Who Wish Me Dead, In the Heights, King Richard, and Reminisce. So basically, after the Wonder Woman 84 announcement was made, they said that basically this is going to be what we're doing for Wonder Woman. Speculation started to ramp up because the rumor is that this was not going to be the only film they were going to do it for. Then, I think this was like 2 or 3 days later, they announced this slate.
Now, I'll probably include this slate too in the article that goes with this podcast too, because a lot of these films now also have dates, which is nice. So, for instance, June is now slated as October 1st, 2021, Suicide Squad August 6th, etc. So we'll put that in the written description that goes with this, so you can check all that out, because some of this stuff didn't have locked-in dates, including Matrix 4, I might add.
Matrix 4 was May, because it was going to be the same weekend as John Wick.
Yeah, now it's December 22nd, 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this isn't meaning that these films aren't coming to cinemas. It just means that they're going to be hitting HBO Max at the same time, I believe.
I was getting there. So basically, when this slate was announced, the person who runs, I think it's digital media, or whoever runs HBO Max, basically said these films will be dropping on HBO Max in the United States, as well as concurrently in cinemas. They will be on HBO Max for the first 30 or 31 days. Then they'll be taken off. It's basically just to allow people to see the film, so that people who don't want to go to the cinemas don't get spoiled in big moments for like Godzilla vs. Kong, Suicide Squad, or Wonder Woman, that type of thing.
Right. So they won't remain on the streaming service for like indefinitely like other shows.
No, they're only going to be on the streaming services for I think 30 or 31 days.
Right.
It was a month, but they didn't really specify. Now, what's really interesting with this is that along with that announcement, there also came the thing of this is a strictly 1 year plan. This is only going to be for next year. This trend will not continue into 2022. It's just the fact that we are living in the age that we're living in now, and people need entertainment. They've been sitting on a lot of these movies. A lot of these movies are completed. They're just collecting dust.
Yeah.
So it's either get them in the hands of consumers, and they didn't say this, but drive up HBO Max subscriptions, or literally just let these films sit and not make money.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're lucky. Hopefully, here in Australia, we'll be able to go and see. So you should still be able to go and see your Godzilla versus Kong with Ethan in a cinema here.
So yeah, pretty much. So all of these films, this whole HBO thing, we need to kind of preface this in saying it is exclusively the United States.
Yes.
Because we're in a good position as it is. All of these films will be dropping the same day. I know Wonder Woman 1984 is dropping a day after in Australia to what it is in the United States, because they're getting it on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, yeah.
So basically then what has happened is because of this announcement, there's been a ton of fallout. The biggest critic of this model today was Christopher Nolan. Basically came out and just slammed Warner Brothers, saying that this is unacceptable, this defeats the purpose of cinema, kind of just went all in. What's really interesting now is that Legendary and there's another production house that works under Warner Brothers have both come out and announced they're filing lawsuits to prevent these films from going to HBO.
Oh, okay. Wow, that is big news. Yeah.
Because they were never told their films were going to be going. Now, the biggest case of this, and the reason why I didn't want to say anything until we got into the HBO news, is Godzilla vs. Kong. So that film is a Legendary picture. They were in the process of doing a $250 million deal with Netflix to put that on the Netflix.
All right. So then Warner Brothers has come along and nipped it in the bud and said, "Nah, we're going to shove it onto our own streaming service."
Basically, Warner Brothers has said, "Where we have plans for this film, don't do anything yet." Didn't tell them what the plan was, and just announced it. So they basically killed a $250 million deal with Netflix.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
So
this is going to be a fight about who has distribution rights and to what.
So, and in terms, technically, Warner Brothers does supersede everyone, which kind of sucks. But the fact that these production houses are not being told what is being done with their films, it's really shit.
Yeah. I guess what Legend will be looking for is a breach of contract, I imagine. So,
yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure whether they're going to basic, because I think they have. So I think Legendary is doing Godzilla and Kong. I think they're doing Dune, and I think they were in with Mortal Kombat. I can't remember. Basically, all of this has happened today. It's just kind of all blown up. So yeah, the Christopher Nolan thing that was really interesting. He's released some scathing words about Warner Brothers and their model, and it sounds like because I think he also has a stake in Legendary.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
But he also has his own production company, which is Syncope, and it sounds like he's going to try and break away from Warner Brothers, which sucks because he also then had his movie Tenet tank, and it was basically all their fault.
All right. Well, let's move along. In other streaming news, and this is only a rumor at this stage, there's absolutely nothing confirmed, so salt of a big dash of salt with this, but there is a lot of talk that Hulu may roll into Disney Plus with the Disney streaming service struggling with subscriptions and maintaining subscribers. There is talk they may roll Hulu into that same service, whether it'll be rebranded or kept the same name, we're not sure. Obviously, again, very early days. Would be great if that was to then roll out internationally, of course, because we don't get Hulu here in Australia. But again, huge grain of salt, may not happen, but it just sort of shows you that Disney is under a bit of the pressure at the moment. And this is obviously sounds like one alternative that they're considering.
This is really interesting. I hadn't actually heard this. The other side to this is that I didn't post it because I didn't think it would be relevant. However, if what you're saying is true, it kind of makes it relevant. Disney have a shareholders meeting on Thursday, which will be Friday our time, and something leaked, which was like a really official looking Disney Plus 2.5 minute like trailer basically teasing a whole bunch of movies that are on Hulu that are more adult content, like stuff like Deadpool and Die Hard and all that kind of stuff, going to Disney Plus.
Right. Oh, well,
yeah, because this would roll into the rumor that was going around about how Disney were like playing with the idea of doing a Disney 18 plus, like this idea of like they'd do a big boy Disney Plus where they could put stuff like Deadpool, because obviously otherwise they'd have to implement some kind of age lock for Disney Plus so your kids couldn't watch stuff like that.
So originally that's what Hulu essentially was. So it was going to be split into, it was to fall into 4 sections. So it was Disney Plus, but under Disney Plus you had National Geographic and all their content, which we have here. But also, if you have Disney Plus in the United States, for a little bit extra, you can get a Hulu subscription, and you can also get an ESPN subscription, which has all the weekly UFC fights, bar the pay-per-views. It has college basketball in the United States. It has regular basketball. It has football. It has all kinds of shit. But you can kind of get that all wrapped up into a plan in the US. There's a lot of begging for that to go internationally and kind of come here as well. So yeah, that could be interesting if that's what they're going to do moving forward.
And some sad news, the actor who played the physical role of Darth Vader, Mr. David Prowse, has passed away at the age of 85.
Yeah, this is awful.
Yeah, but, you know, it's not a bad innings. If I could hit 85, I wouldn't complain. So, you know, it sucks. We never want anybody to go, but, yeah, so the physical part is gone. Anyway, James Earl Jones is still kicking around, but the voice, but the physical part has passed. He's a rather intimidating man, too. He's quite tall. So
I was going to say that's him and Peter Mayhew now, isn't it? Both of them passed away.
Yeah. Peter Mayhew died a few years ago.
Yeah.
Apparently, Florence Pugh is joining Jeremy Renner for the Disney Plus series of Hawkeye, and that is, I also believe, looking to get underway soon.
Already filming, baby!
There you go. Production is about to get rolling, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So there you go. So that's underway.
Production started last week. Some images have leaked from the sets, and needless to say, there's some very exciting shit already kind of being seen, which is odd to say about a Hawkeye property. But in saying that, though, there's also been other confirmations. We have the official confirmation that Haley Steinfeld has signed on. She's going to be playing Kate Bishop. Vera Farmiga from the Conjuring films. Yep. She's going to be playing Kate Bishop's mother. Florence Pugh, who is Yelena in Black Widow, she's been put into the series. They also said that Far Free is going to be playing a character by the name of Clown, who's a villain for Hawkeye.
Clown.
So, yeah, just Clown.
Okay.
And there's also a rumor as well that Swordsman will be making an appearance as well, which is Hawkeye's mentor.
Oh Jesus! Whoever named the Hawkeye characters needs to be shot.
And some more sad news. Hugh Keys-Byrne, who played Toe Cutter in the original Mad Max and Immortan Joe in Fury Road, has passed away at 73.
Yeah.
Australian actor. So, sad to see him go.
That was news that I saw and I was like, that's sad, but I wonder how many people who, unless they are fans of Mad Max, would know, like, would know enough to be really upset by that news, because he wasn't prolific in, like, the wide...
Yeah, he did a few other bits and pieces, but
The main thing I know him from is Stone.
Yeah.
Go way back.
Wow.
Now, some interesting news that's just quickly worth mentioning, that the rights for the character Daredevil that were with Netflix have now officially reverted back to Marvel as of November 29th. Good to know. And also the movie rights, the franchise rights to Hellraiser have returned to creator Clive Barker. So
you know what?
That's exciting too.
This might be a controversial take, but I think Hellraiser's done.
I think back in Clive Barker's hands, he can do things with it that you just can't imagine. Clive Barker is a fucking cursed and disturbed individual with an amazing imagination for some genuinely fucked up shit. And
that That dude is a genius. I will give
Yeah,
him a lot of credit.
so I think he's been fighting for this for a long time. Obviously, after the initial film, things started going downhill, and then there was some direct director videos and a whole bunch of other horrible, nasty shit. It was kind of like Craven with Nightmare on Elm Street, you know what I mean? So, if he chooses to do another Hellraiser film, yes, it might be shit, but I think the man deserves an opportunity to redeem the franchise. So, I will see it.
I will say, I think he deserves one more shot to get it off the ground, because like a lot of the things that have gone wrong with that franchise and that and Pinhead have not been his fault.
No, exactly.
And so I feel like with it being back in the hands of its creator and someone that knows the character and actually loves the character enough to do it justice, I can see that. But I think that there's been so many bad Hellraiser movies that I feel like it's not going to pull the audience it once did.
Yeah. That being said, though, how many absolute dumpster fire Chucky movies are there?
Too many.
And they keep making that shit.
How many dumpster fire Skyline movies are there? 2, nearly 3. Oh!
No, I totally agree with the Hellraiser stuff. Like, I know quite a few people personally who are huge Hellraiser fans.
Yeah, I stop at the third one. For me, I stop at the third one. After the third one, it really starts to drop sharp. And I didn't even watch the last couple that didn't have... the last ones didn't even have Doug What's-His-Face playing Pinhead, so I didn't even watch them. Hard pass. We've got some more casting news for Lord of the Rings. I'll quickly rip through the list of names. There's another 20. I don't know any of them. I think there's a lot of them are from New Zealand, but they're adding... New additions is Cynthia Adai Robinson, Maxim Baldry, Ian Blackburn, Kip Chapman, Anthony Crum, Maxine Cunliffe, Tristan Gravel, Sir Lenny Henry, Thusia Jayasundera, Fabian McCallum, Simon Merrills, Jeff Morrill, Peter Mullen, Lloyd Owen, Augustus Prue, what a fantastic name, Augustus Prue, Peter Trait, Alex Tarrant, Leon Wadham, Benjamin Walker, and Sarah Zvangobani is the new. So I'm not familiar with any of them. You chaps might be, but they're now in there. And all that says to me is that the cogs are turning and shit is happening in their now near $1 billion budget.
Wow. Hey, I didn't hear anything about Augustus Prue getting cast. That's fucking cool. He's really awesome. He was in... Was he in one of the Kick-Ass movies?
Ah, okay.
He replaced Evan Peters, and he was actually really dope. And then he was also in one of the seasons of Prison Break. But I also didn't hear that Lenny Henry had been cast. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, Lenny Henry is one of the few names that stuck out for me.
He is, yeah. Like, I didn't even see his name pop up, but I was like, there was a huge list of names, so I was kind of half paying attention. Yeah, Lenny Henry's a god. Like, he's so funny.
We got some more casting news, and this one I think fans are mostly going to appreciate, and that is Oscar Isaac is going to play Solid Snake in a Metal Gear Solid film for Sony.
Yeah. The most wanted man in Hollywood right now.
Oh, isn't he just? All that chin, baby.
I mean, I think he's a phenomenal actor. I've liked him for so long, and...
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I granted I didn't like him as Apocalypse. Like... I thought that role could have been way better, but in saying that though, he's going to be playing Moon Knight and he's going to be playing Solid Snake. So like, yes, put him in everything.
Yep.
I love Deus Ex Machina, so I'd love to see a sequel for that show up at some point, and I'd love to see a little bit of like flashback just to have Oscar Isaac back. But yeah, anything of Oscar Isaac is going to be. He's so popular right now. I mean, the fact he's in June, if that doesn't take off, he's going to keep going anyway.
Yeah.
I think, like, again, like, I've been a fan of his for a while, but I really think Star Wars raised his stock. Because people
absolutely.
He can be funny, he can be serious, honestly, you can say what you want about those Star Wars films, but, like, they really showed his range.
And Poe is a bright spot in those films. Poe is arguably the most interesting of those quote-unquote 3 core characters.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah,
easily.
Did you guys catch Extraction on Netflix earlier this year with Chris Hemsworth?
No, it's sitting in my watch list.
Wow.
I need to watch it.
You can both go sit in the corners right now. Put your nose in the corner.
I heard that it's good, but I don't know. It just didn't grab me.
Well, this is obviously the Russo brothers.
I've just had so much on this year, you know. I just haven't had time.
Right. Well, make time, because not only is a sequel confirmed, the Russo brothers have also and Hemsworth, I believe, have talked about a potential shared movie universe. So this is expanding vertically and horizontally. So
does everything need to be a universe now?
Apparently.
Didn't they announce as well that like they already had someone in for like a spin-off?
I'm not sure if anything else has been confirmed at this stage. Yeah, there's nothing in this article anyway.
About like the Russos were like, there was like there's an Extraction 2 coming, and then someone, because they haven't announced whether or not Chris Hemsworth's coming back for the second.
No, they've kept it under wraps.
But then another name popped up that he's going to be in. Oh, that's David Harbour. That's who it was.
Right. Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah, David Harbour's going to be in the second Extraction film, and then they're going to use that film to spin off another film about David Harbour.
Right.
And his character in the
Well, he is in the first film. He's in the first film.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, yeah. His character Gaspar is one of Rake's former teammates. So.
Okay.
So yeah, he may. It's possible. It's not confirmed. Yeah. Yeah. And the last bit of news I've got, and this is sad and good. Sad that it's not December, but good that we've at least got a locked-in date, and that is the premiere date for WandaVision on the Disney Plus streaming service has been locked in as January 15. Get psyched.
Boy, 6 episodes. So Marvel's Twitter has been dropping a new poster since, I think today's the 3rd day? Maybe the 4th. Hang on, 8. Today might be the 5th. There's a rumor that a new trailer is going to be dropping on the 10th. So,
cool. A couple of days. So, yep.
They've been dropping a new poster every day, and basically it's the wallpaper of the house with a little TV, like an old school, like 1960s TV on the trolley, and the image inside the TV is changing for each decade. That because we already know this show is every episode is going to be a different decade of comedy. Like it's gonna kind of like there's like gonna be a Full House episode that represents the 90s, and there's like a Brady Bunch episode. There's a oh my god, I can't think of what it's called. Like a Bewitched, like themed episode. Like
I Dream a Genie sort of era.
Yeah. But each image in the television represents each episode in each decade that they're doing. And I think they've done like 3 or 4 posters, but the rumor is that they're dropping the last poster in a new trailer at the end of this week.
Right.
So, but yeah, they confirmed the January 15th as well, which is going to be very exciting.
I have a question, but I want you to answer me on a scale of 1 to 10. We're not going to get into discussion because we will waffle for hours. No waffles. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and I want you to give me just the scale on 1 to 10. Are you with me? All right. Spider-Man 3. Potentially, multiverses collapsing in. We're talking about Maguire. We're talking about what's the other Spider-Man? Garfield. Thank you. Yeah, we're talking about potentially, Doc Ock coming back and all this other stuff. On a scale of 1 to 10, how keen would you be to see Charlie Cox rocking up as Daredevil and bringing his villain with him, which is Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin? 1 to 10. How keen would you be? 1? Wouldn't want it?
Too much.
Too much for one film? Yep. Fair?
I'd say 10. I'd say 10 just because I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, so I'm all for it.
I would really
rather see them rock up than Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield could be left out in place of them.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but we've never had Kingpin appear in a movie, a live-action movie versus Spider-Man.
No, he was only in the Affleck one.
Owned by different
and
no, against Spider-Man though.
Not against Spider-Man, and Kingpin is one of Spider-Man's biggest enemies, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, yeah.
So I'm just saying. And so the second question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you think Marvel would ever bring Cox and Vincent into the MCU as their respective characters? Well,
Holland's already pushed for it.
So 1 being you don't think MCU would buy it, 10 being you're absolutely confident they'll do it. What do you reckon?
I think 10 on Kingpin because Holland's already pushed for it. He's been very open.
Yeah, D'Onofrio has too.
Yeah.
And D'Onofrio has also said he's in conversations. Charlie Cox is a toss-up because he said he's left the character behind. I loved his Daredevil, but he said that he's left the character behind. So whether or not that's him playing coy and being like, surprise bitches, I'm back, like You don't know. I really liked all. Say what you want about Finn Jones, but I liked all the casting of all those shows.
So this is the danger of waffle. This is the waffle danger alert. Waffle danger alert.
All right. Don't talk about Marvel and tell me not to talk about
it. I know. All right, so before we jump into our topic of conversation, which I think is not going to be too long, just recently, I want to touch on things that we've probably been watching recently, and I just wanted to quickly say I've now watched Tenet, and I thought it was very good. I think, however, side by side with Inception, I prefer Inception as a whole film. However, I think the third act of Tenet is amazing, and I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think if you look at the whole film, I think Inception is better. But if you're just looking at those third acts, I think the third act in Tenet is incredible.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Yeah, it's way more interesting than the third act of Inception.
Yeah, the sort of the first two acts in Tenet are interesting. The first act in particular is a bit slow because it's got so much to build, whereas Inception has the luxury of being able to hit you with more glamorous special effects and sort of diving into that world, which I know Tenet had a very tiny budget for special effects, like nearly everything was practical. So yeah, it was really good, and I didn't have any of those sound problems. Remember, there was a lot of rumors about audio causing things difficult. I didn't in the version I saw. I didn't have any problems. So it may have just been a bad print that went out to some cinemas. I don't know. Something in the mix there. Have you guys caught anything recently that really got your attention on streaming services?
The only thing I've watched... So I finished Cobra Kai. Very good.
Nice.
Very excited. Apart from that, the only other thing that I watched was Upgrade. Which... Holy shit. Actually, no, I watched 2 movies. Holy shit. I don't think... I honestly, I don't think I've seen a better movie this year except for Tenet.
Like it's really good, isn't it?
Oh, it is excellent. And like, I'm a big Lee Winnell fan. We've kind of talked about this, all of Saw and all the movies he's done. And I thought that movie was perfect. Like, there's nothing about that movie that I could say that I disliked. It is a very niche thing, but this is my niche. So like, it's 100% everything I like about science fiction.
Yeah.
The other thing that I watched was Freaky, which is the Vince Vaughn.
Oh, yep.
Horror movie.
I haven't caught that yet. I want to though.
Oh my god, do as soon as possible. Very funny.
Cool. Right. Vince, it looked like a one of those fun movie ideas that you're like, oh, I'm glad that's not like a blacklisted idea. I'm glad that made it to film.
You ever see Happy Death Day?
Yes, I actually really like Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2. I think they're very fun, tongue-in-cheek movies.
Same vibe, same creator.
Oh, cool.
So imagine...
I wasn't sure if that was the same dude.
Yeah, it's Christopher Langdon. So basically, everything that you probably liked about those films, you'll see in this, and you'll also see Vince Vaughn be a 16-year-old girl.
See, I'm a sucker for Vince Vaughn, even though lots of people hate him, but I like Vince Vaughn.
What's not to love?
Exactly.
Well, the other thing I started watching, and I haven't finished yet, and if you sort of watched House, of Haunting of Bly Manor, and we're looking for something a bit more, have a look at Paranormal on Netflix. It's an Egyptian show. Its ratings are excellent. It's an 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, and it's if you don't mind subtitles, it's well, actually there is some English in it, but I've watched the first couple of episodes and it's good stuff. It's good. The acting is really good as well. And I don't know if I'd say it doesn't strike me as sort of a horror, but it's definitely a thriller and there's some spooky moments. It's quite good. Worth a watch. Definitely. Ooh. Yeah.
Well, the only thing that I've really watched recently is, as much as everyone says that I'm a shill for it, is Mandalorian. I'm still staying up to date.
Oh my god, I didn't even talk about Mandalorian.
Look, like not to waffle on about Star Wars, because ironically, while I'm a lifelong fan of Star Wars, I'm also a massive critic of Star Wars too. So it takes a lot for me to say that Star Wars is excellent these days. But these last 2 episodes of Mandalorian have been the best Star Wars I have seen in years. They are so good.
You know what my rating is? It goes Empire, the last 2 episodes of Mandalorian, then everything else.
Wow.
Because it is that fucking good.
It really is. And the thing is that I will say, for anyone who hasn't seen Mandalorian, 100% go see it. I don't agree with everyone else that was like going crazy over the first season. I thought first season Mandalorian was fine, not 10 out of 10. It was probably like 6.5, 7. It was all right. But season 2's been really good, and these last 2 episodes they've just knocked it out the park. And you could watch it as a new fan and like it, and find characters that like old fans are going crazy about, and you will find them for the first time and love them as well. But if you're a fan, especially of Dave Filoni's animated shows, wow, like these last 2 episodes are just peak fan service, but also excellent interweaving of like the Star Wars world. I really think Disney might actually be coming back on top with Star Wars.
Peak fan service. So you get to see up Boba Fett's skirt, do you?
Boy, you don't know how close to the truth that is.
Yeah.
No,
I really don't. I was gonna say I don't know why they gave the keys to J.J. Abrams. Give it to Filoni. He knows what he's doing. Like,
yeah, the worst thing that Dave Filoni does is apologize too much.
Yeah.
But he knows what to do with Star Wars.
I will say, like, this is coming from someone who's a big J.J. Abrams fan. Like, never have given the keys to Star Wars to him. Should have given it to Dave Filoni. If Clone Wars wasn't evidence that dude knows how to run cohesive stories and just great stories, like, I don't know what else I could give you. Because then he did Rebels, which, in my opinion, was better.
Yeah, it's funny because Rebels also often gets, like, people will often say, I think Clone Wars is a better series, like a better show than Rebels for story structure, but Rebels was also aimed at a younger audience than Clone Wars was initially.
Absolutely.
So everyone that always craps on at Rebels and says, oh, the logic of the bad guys doesn't make sense. How come the Empire's getting beaten by this small crew? It's like, guys, this show was made for Disney XD. Like, come on. Like, it's a great show, but it's still supposed to be a family show. Like, seriously. It's at the same time,
also,
though.
It's also
Star
2
Wars.
Jedi. It's also 2 Jedi and a Mandalorian.
I think people just forget that
and
George Lucas himself said, like, of his own movie, it's a movie made for 12-year-olds. People our age need to get over the fact that Star Wars, it was not made for us. It was when we were younger, not now.
When we were kids, yeah, but no, it's not. Yeah, these films aren't for us.
No,
100%.
It's just our love of Star Wars that keeps them for us.
Star Wars is shit. Fight me.
Yes.
Shut up.
Hey, look, I am the biggest critic of Star Wars that's a fan, but I will say that Star Wars isn't.
When I was a little boy, I'm not no word of a lie. When I was a little boy, we went, with mum and all that. It was like, do you want to go see Star Wars or do you want to go watch Indiana Jones? It was like Indiana Jones straight away. Just Indiana Jones, always, every day. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is where you pull that piece of paper out of your pocket that has homework written on it, but it's actually just got bubblegum stuck in it, or So uncrumple that sheaf of paper that you've got stuck in your pocket. Who wants to go first with their homework and tell us their Christmas movie? Crickets.
To go first.
Tumbleweeds.
Oh, all right. Look, I'll do it. I'll be the sacrifice.
All right, give me the elevator pitch. Let's hear it.
All right. Here's my elevator pitch. I'll start with the title: Seasons Beatings. Okay. Right. So you can take the title Seasons Beatings to a lot of markets. I'm talking about adult markets. I'm talking about family fun. I'm talking about all kinds of stuff. But my particular Seasons Beatings would be what if Fight Club, but Christmas?
Okay.
So here's my pitch.
Oh my god. Listen. Does this? I may be getting ahead here, but does this end with like the destruction of the commercialization of Christmas?
Oh my god! Could you imagine a picture of the Macy's going down like at the end of Fight Club? Oh,
just collapsing.
Right, so Fight Club at Christmas. Basically, Seasons Beatings would be the story of the secret, shady underground world we don't see of how mall Santas get the best spots at Christmas time.
Right. And so they just belt the shit out of each other to get the best spot.
There you go. Basically, I thought, what if you did a dark comedy about all of these the main character could be like an ex-army vet or something, and he's like down on his luck, he needs some extra money for Christmas, and he sees an ad in the paper, and then the guy he goes to is like a real shady dude. It's like, come to the docks at 5 on this day and come down to this area, or like come to the the old shipping yard, the storage containers, and then they have like tryouts of different matches so that you can get the supreme spot, the perfect Macy's spot for Christmas. And there you go. That's literally like that was the first thing I thought of when you said Christmas idea of a movie I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen a movie where Santas beat each other up.
I want to see Samuel Jackson in this for one.
Oh, he could be the guy that he could be like the David Bowie from Zoolander. He judges the fights.
What other casting suggestions have you got here?
I mean, obviously,
Danny DeVito. Bring Danny DeVito back.
I'm the trash man.
Matthew Broderick.
Perfect. Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick is
right?
a tag team. Two
Done.
Santas.
Done. Oh man, I would watch that. It sounds funny. It sounds funny. I would watch it. It sounds like a good Christmas movie.
Thank you.
The fight commissioner is the returning Rick Moranis.
Oh my god.
I'm fine with that.
That'd be perfect. Yeah. Well, they could even have Will Ferrell show up, so it's like a tag.
Now you've ruined it. Now you've ruined it. Now you've ruined it. Nah,
come on.
Nah.
Elf is a great Christmas movie. Don't kill what you say.
Nah, fuck off. Get out. Next. All right. Lucas.
What about Macaulay Culkin?
Maybe. Okay, you can have Macaulay. All right, Lucas, hit me with your homework. Come on, tell me about your Christmas film.
Okay. I'm gonna pitch you.
Yep.
All right, you guys are big Hollywood execs. I'm gonna pitch you this film.
All right, do it.
Well, we got to do the John Peters thing where we build the little frame in our mind.
Yes, that's right. You gotta enter your mind palace and just imagine this.
Yeah, just like Kevin Smith and Batman. Okay, ready.
Christmas, 1988, Germany. Young woman is getting ready to prepare her Christmas. She's got a young baby. She's getting everything ready. This is going to be her son's first Christmas. And as she's preparing on Christmas morning, she wakes up and her husband's not home. And she's like, this is weird, but here's what it is. He said he would be home. He worked the night before. She turns on the television and she sees Nakatomi Plaza is on fire.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, dear. I think you've lost.
And it turns out that her husband was Ellis.
Her husband, Hans Gruber, has died, and she is very upset. We flash forward to the year 2020. Young Luca Gruber has been training for years because he's going to be seeking revenge on John McClane. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Die Hardest. In English, Die the Hardest.
Oh, no. I suppose it had to go there somewhere. Someone was going to do Die Hard, right? Oh, dear.
Yep.
Yeah, I just stayed away from it out of principle.
You knew it was going to be me.
Die Gruber, yeah.
Why couldn't it be like a Rambo story of, what's his name? The limo driver. Being like, that man taught me all I know. I can't see another tragedy like this happen.
Side note, Brandy was listening to that pitch, sleeping on the couch tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, my homework is completely new as well. Like, I made this up. It's not really a funny thing either, and I went serious. So here's the pitch. Here's the I haven't got a name, but here's the pitch for the movie. When a dangerous criminal, played by Mads Mikkelsen, comes home to a small town Colorado for Christmas, a weathered bounty hunter, played by Kurt Russell, isn't far behind. The town sheriff, played by Bruce Willis, isn't too happy about either being on his patch of dirt. Time is running out for our bounty hunter to capture the killer by any means necessary before he brings bloodshed to Christmas. The sheriff insists it's done by the book. Christmas Eve is about to become a game of cat and mouse. Directed by John Carpenter. Also starring Rachel Weisz, Kevin Costner, and Danny Glover.
Is Kevin Costner someone's dad?
Yeah. He's just so typical American that, you know, if I'm in Colorado, I just put him in a flannelette shirt and he blends right in.
He's just always in Colorado,
right? He just is. And then
he's just a tourist attraction.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm not sure where I have everybody else.
Is Diane Lane playing his wife?
I don't
so
know.
we can have a third Superman parent movie?
I don't know. I just
This
made
would
it
be
all up.
the
But
unofficial trilogy.
I just had this mental image of Mads being, you know, a killing bastard. That's easy. And then I had this mental image of Kurt being sort of this weathered, bounty hunter. And then Bruce Willis as a sheriff, easy, right? It all just came very easily. And then I'm like, well, you have to have John Carpenter. Like, you have to.
This could be his grand return to cinema.
Yeah.
I've realized you essentially pitched a history of violence.
Sorry?
You're not too far from it, actually.
It's pretty close. Like, obviously, the secret's missing.
What have I done?
You basically pitched a movie. You pitched a movie called A History of Violence with Viggo Mortensen and Ed Harris.
Well, there you go.
The thing is that Viggo Mortensen, we don't know if he's a killer. But Ed Harris rocks up being like, yeah, I know you. You killed a bunch of my guys like 15 years ago, and I'm here to fucking kill you.
Right.
The only difference is that there's no sheriff. But, side note, I would definitely recommend watching that if you haven't, because it is excellent.
Yeah, I wanted to go with the triangle thing. It's that
sex scene between Maria Bello and Viggo Mortensen. Mwah, tasteful.
Right. So, but that was the idea, was to create that sort of triangle, and yeah. Anyway. So
honestly, I would love to see that, just because I watch anything with Kurt Russell.
Right, I just threw some big names in there. Okay, so what do we got? Well, we got Wonder Woman coming to the cinemas Boxing Day, and it will be out by the time we likely do our next episode of this show, because it'll probably be the end of the month really when we do our next episode. So we should have some eyes on Wonder Woman by then, all going well. And still not a huge amount happening in the streaming space. Obviously, Mandalorian's ongoing, and obviously we've got WandaVision on Disney Plus. But in terms of Netflix and Amazon, I don't think there's anything super huge coming in terms of TV shows. We've obviously got the new Christmas movie with Kurt Russell. That's already out.
Cobra Kai comes out on the 8th of January.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, everything's sort of January now. I don't think we've got anything sort of new and big between now and Christmas, unfortunately. I could be wrong. I didn't pull up any lists, but I haven't heard of anything big coming out. So,
yeah. I mean, if anyone's looking for something to watch coming up to Christmas itself, Netflix just dropped, I think it was last week, pretty quietly, another in the series of the movies that made us series that they've got, where it's the holiday movies that made us, and there's 2 episodes. There's one of Home Alone, I think it is, and the other one is Nightmare Before Christmas. So
it's a very excellent series.
It's such a good series. So if you're a movie fan, that's perfect holiday watch right there. It's only 2 episodes long, so you can just watch it 100 times if you really want.
Well, hopefully with most of these COVID restrictions leaving, you're getting out of the bloody house as much as you can and enjoying it until someone does something stupid and buggers it all up again.
Yeah.
So, but we'll be back in 3 weeks most likely, and we will hopefully have some sort of post-Christmas topics to discuss. Obviously, we'll probably break down Wonder Woman, all going well.
Likely be one.
And we'll be getting ready for 2021, which is hopefully going to be a much better year. Very much looking forward to putting 2020 behind me. It's been an absolute shit of a year for myself and probably for most people. So I'm glad to see the back end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's about everything for this episode. So thank you to Jesse and Lucas for joining me on this episode. Appreciate it.
And always.
Yeah. And thank you to everyone that's listening. Thank you to our Patreon supporters who help make this podcast possible. And look after yourselves. We hope you have a fantastic Christmas, and we hope that you'll join us for the next episode just before the new year. Ding 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 ding. I don't know, that was meant to be kind of Christmassy. I don't think that worked.